welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Jana McLean. I'm an assistant professor of elementary and special education here at MTSU, and I have the honor and privilege of introducing Dr. Ricky Gibbs. Angela Davis writes, "I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept." This quote has been the driving force behind Dr. Gibbs' passion to change lives through the power of a great education. Dr. Ricky Gibbs earned his BS in elementary education and M.Ed in administration and supervision from our sister institution, Tennessee State University. He then went on to earn a Doctor of Education degree in organizational leadership and strategic change from Lipscomb University. He started his career teaching third grade, yay, third grade, at Paragon Mills Elementary in Nashville, Tennessee for 4 years. He served as an assistant principal and principal in Metro Nashville Public Schools, and now has the honor of currently leading the transformation work as principal of Warner Arts Magnet Elementary. In 2020, Dr. Gibbs was named Elementary Principal of the Year for Metro Nashville Public Schools. And his work,
Look, see, I so appreciate when people go ahead and give that a round of applause at the beginning. Look, I love that. You should say that again.
Okay, let me say it again. In 2020, Dr. Gibbs was named Elementary Principal of the Year for Metro Nashville Public Schools. And his work at Warner was featured in the WPLN podcast, The Promise, Season 2. The podcast focuses on racial segregation and Gibbs' determination to transform his school by implementing an innovative curriculum designed to engage current students and recruit new families for enrollment. Thanks so much for being here. Let's give a warm welcome to our distinguished lecturer, Dr. Ricky Gibbs.
So this is going to be a challenge for me. I put the lapel mic on because I stood here earlier. I took a picture just like this, and I sent it to my mama and told her, "Mom, I'm finna be a distinguished lecturer tonight." So she was like, "Make sure you take a picture by the podium." So I did like this, but I'm a mover, so I'm gonna be moving around. I even got my video guy up top. I asked him, "Now, if I'm on the stage, are you good? If I get down there, am I good?" He said, "As long as you don't walk out the door." So if you see me moving around, that's just gonna be a part of it as we go. So hey, I am honored to be with you this evening. For the next hour, I was telling some folks already, we're gonna have some laughs. I'm gonna tug at your heart a little bit. We're gonna have the, "Oh, that's so cute" moment. But then I'm gonna challenge your thought process. I'm gonna challenge you to see the big dream. As educators, our job is to push our scholars to do whatever they wanna do. Oftentimes you hear people say, "Oh, you can be whatever you want to do, the sky's the limit." I'm going to challenge that thought process and tell you, we no longer say the sky's the limit because there are footprints on the moon. So when we talk to our young people about transforming their lives through the power of a great education, it's literally about pushing beyond all limits. You heard the driving quote from Angela Davis that I root all of my work in. And Angela Davis just told us that I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. So when it comes to the education of our young people, I want each and every one of you to put that thing in your mind that says, "I can't stand when this happens," and challenge yourself, what are you going to do about it? So, to get us started, let's connect. If you're on Twitter, if I say something that you just like, "Man, he up there preaching," put it on Twitter and tag me, Principal_Gibbs. If you're on Instagram, follow me, Principal_Gibbs too. I got a really fancy shoe collection. I just in my Stacey Adams tonight, but I'm an avid purchaser of Christian Louis Vuittons, and you get to see all of them. They got sparkles and all that kind of, it's really neat. So you should definitely come check us out. If you like to email, ricky.gibbs@mmps.org. If you like my mama always tells me, Rick, you doing all this stuff? Boy, I'm not going on social media. Pick up the phone when I call you. There's my cell phone number. Give me a shout. I love to connect with educators as we're doing this work so that I genuinely believe iron sharpens iron. So reach out to me and we can connect. A couple hashtags that we're going to use this evening. Disruptors Unite. I am an unapologetic disruptor. I will tell you that from the beginning. I believe in disrupting the status quo. Not because I just like to make trouble, but because there are a generation of young people counting on us to be our very best at every moment, and just going along with the flow just isn't enough. So I'm a disruptor. So if I say something, Disruptors Unite, hashtag it. And then I'm an educator through and through. Told you I was a third grade teacher, so the same energy you see right now, that was my energy when I had 19, 20 of my babies. My biggest class was 24. Let's say, pray for me. It was interesting having 24 and 9-year-olds, but we made it. So this same energy. So because I'm an educator through and through, in sports, if I had a great pass, they'd be like, he dropping dimes. We don't drop out dimes. We're educators, we drop apples. So if I say something and you be like, okay, I like what he just said, that's an apple I just dropped. So when you put that on Twitter or something, say, man, Dr. Gibbs out here dropping apples tonight. Before we get started, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my world. On the far by the beach, I'm originally from Miami, born and raised in the county of Dade. That's my mom with the striped dress. Single mother, never made more than $20,000. She's the reason that I do this work today. She was still is an amazing lady, and she's my absolute hero. I could give another presentation where I talk about the school to prison pipeline and equity work and tell you that when I was in 4th grade, I got kicked out of school for 180 days. I got remanded to an alternative school. So the title of that presentation is From Getting Kicked Out of School to Running a School. Look at that conundrum. But it happens. It happens to children all the time. So she was the lady that pushed me. That's my sister and my little brother. Yes, he's my blood brother. We got the same mama and the same daddy. I don't know how he got all the hair. And he's literally 3 years younger than me. So it's not like he's super young, like 3 years. And his hair still is there. I don't know how that happened. On the far right, this is the crew. These are my brothers that we met at Tennessee State University. If you follow me on Instagram, you're gonna see pictures of the crew all the time. Those are my brothers. Those are the people that I'm able to disconnect with. Because if you're going to do this work in education, you got to have a group of people you can disconnect with. Because this work is hard, but it's life-changing. So have that crew that you can disconnect with. Have fun. We travel. We do all that stuff. I purposely blend some of my speaking travel with our crew travel. So this Friday, we're going to Houston. Everybody's like, oh, man, y'all going to go to Turkey Leg Hut? Y'all going to do that? Yes. But I'm going to meet with a school while I'm there, too. So we kind of blended together. Yeah, just have a little fun. And then in the middle, that's my wife, Tanya, my oldest daughter, Addison, and my baby girl, Raven. Raven is my spirit animal. Raven is me as a girl with long hair. She is as stubborn as she want to be, but she's just the life of the party. You walk in, Raven doesn't meet strangers, so as y'all was walking on, hey, how y'all doing? That's my baby girl. That's Raven. So a little bit about my world. Let's get into the work. So Warner Arts Magnet Elementary School, we're nestled right in the heart of East Nashville. Between the year 2015 and 2017, we lost at least 5 teachers every school year. During that time, in 1 month period, we had multiple teachers quit. So we had a cohort of children that started school in 2015 that had been educated by subs because the school just could not keep teachers. And we couldn't keep teachers because of the historical things. It was high discipline, high turnover, low academics. A toxic culture just was the overhanging theme for the school. In 2017, the school was put on the priority list because we ranked in the bottom 5% in the state of Tennessee of schools. I'm gonna drive that point home a little bit more. Saying that we were in the bottom 5% is actually good news. And you're thinking, how does that happen? We were truly in the bottom 2%. We were 1.6 to be exact. At that point, 3% of our students were proficient in math, and only 5% were proficient in reading. But sometimes percentages hide things. Let's go to the numbers. At that point, Warner had 173 students. We only test third and fourth graders, so that boiled out to about 40 students. We had one student in the school that was proficient in math and 2 students that were proficient in reading. We knew something needed to change. So when we became a priority school, we knew something needed to change. I was in the district and I left and came back and I was interviewing for different positions. And at the time, our superintendent, Dr. Joseph, said, "Hey, Gibbs, would you think about taking Warner?" I was like, "Well, I ain't interviewed for that school. Like, why y'all talking to me about that? Like, I interviewed for 3 other schools." He was like, "But your thought process is what we need there." So, all right, well, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Talk to my people. It's like, all right, well, let's do it, Doc. Let's do it. So I said, all right, give me all the information. So we did a data dump. That previous school year, the school logged over 700 behavior referrals with the enrollment of 188 students. 700 behavior referrals, only 188 students, and over 100 out-of-school suspensions. And you say, well, why aren't students progressing? How can they learn if they're not in school? How can teachers teach if students are being disrespectful? How can other students learn if Ricky is standing in class yelling and standing on the desk, tootsie rolling, like this is just the party to be? So we said, we got to figure something out. We have to think about something differently. So when I took over the school, I told you I'm originally from Miami, but I caveat, if you meet me out and I'm out and about, you like, where you from? I'm gonna say Nashville. I've been in Nashville since 2001. So I've been here over half my life. Played football at Tennessee State and decided to stay. But I drove into East Nashville, our zip code, 37206. That zip code is 61% white. Warner had historically been 99% black. I stood up in the meeting one day and said, how is that even possible? How can a school in a zip code that's 61% white be 99% black? Didn't make any sense. Then I said, how are we 99% economically disadvantaged when I literally walk out the front door of the school, take about 20 steps, I'm at a house on Russell Street that sells for $700,000. There's a house on a corner and it sits behind this big wall. It's a beautiful home. They just sold that house 3 months ago for $5.9 million. I don't know what them people do, but if you can afford $5.9 million, you're doing okay in life. So, but you have that, But the majority of the scholars that attend Warner come from Casey. Casey Homes is the largest public housing development in the city of Nashville. The median household income in Casey is $12,000 a year. I'm gonna say that again. The median household income of the families that live in Casey is $12,000 a year. Now, I hadn't, gone and done all my research, and I don't want to count everybody's pocket in here, but I'm willing to bet your tuition is more than $12,000 a year. Might even say more than that a semester. But you have families of 3 and 4 that are living off of that for an entire year. So those families don't have what we call disposable income. Those children do not have the ability to go see experiences. They don't get to go to a Titans game. They don't go to the Nashville Children's Theater. They don't go to TPAC. They don't go to the Children's Theater because their families don't have that disposable income needed to do those things. But this is where the story gets good. We said, okay, we understand these challenges, but we promised every child a world-class education. We never said you can have a world-class education if you live in this zip code, but not that zip code. We never said you can have a world-class education if you go to school in this city, but not that city. We just said, if you come to a public school in the United States of America, we're going to ensure that you have a world-class education. So we knew something needed to change. So we started off by saying we needed to improve student outcomes. If you're an educator, you know outcomes. We're going to always talk about outcomes. So we said we needed to look at academics and figure out how we were going to make teaching and learning fun, because what we know, when schools are failing, what we do, we add more time and instruction. But if I already have a 2-hour reading block and you give me another hour, if I'm bored, you just gave me a longer nap. You didn't help me. So we said we're going to figure out a way to engage our scholars and really push them forward. Then we said we needed to change school culture. When we talk about school culture, we needed to change staff mentality. It was about stage presence. As you're going throughout your school and you've learned there's a science to teaching, but there's an art to this work as well. And fellas, you may not understand this analogy quite like the ladies will, but when I'm riding in the car, and this, we done talked and y'all made me a distinguished lecturer, so I feel like we family now. So I'm gonna get a little vulnerable with you. So when I'm riding in the car, sometimes there's one of my favorite artists, Queen Bee, Beyonce knows. I got to do it in the car because, if I'm in a club and, I be ready to hit it, but I say, nah, I can't do it. I'm in the club, so I just got to kind of hold it. But in the car, I'm getting it. And single ladies, I'm all for it. But Beyonce has an energy when she walks in the room. Beyonce has a flow that when she walks in a room, she owns every room that she's in. So we call it the Beyonce energy. So when we talked about changing that staff culture, I challenged all of my team to have that Beyonce energy. When you walk in a room with your scholars, you walk in a room with your peers, and you're representing Warner, we want you to walk in with your head held high with that Beyonce energy to know that you own that room. So just that thought process of transforming culture through that Beyonce energy really began to push us forward. We did some really exciting things about how do we go about professional development, how do we go about team building, how do we make sure that our teachers were having fun, because without the fun, the work is too hard. We said we needed to engage the community. When we talked about engaging the community, we talk about really finding ways to support and partner. It was built on the thought process of not only are you welcomed at Warner, but you're also wanted at Warner. And so when we talk about partnering with community members, we try to figure out what can we do to always show our community that we value them and show our parents we need them. Because at one point, we all thought about, we knew it took a village to raise our children, and then we stepped away from that and felt like we needed to do it ourselves. So we said we're going to change that thought process, and then we decided we're going to change the narrative about the school. We took a really aggressive approach with social media and how we were carving our message, because I challenged our team to defy what I call the greatest lie ever told in education. And I guarantee you everybody in this room has heard this lie. We were once told, when you get into a school building, you can only focus on what happens between your four walls, because you can't control the neighborhood, you can't control where your students come from. If you focus on your four walls, everything will be okay. Lies, 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 I tell you. Trauma does not stop at your school door. Depression does not stop at your school door. Sadness, anxiety, fear does not stop at your school door. So we said we have to find a way to change the narrative, because one thing that we've learned, and I listen to the Breakfast Club all the time, and Charlamagne the God is one of my favorite radio personalities. And he says something all the time, and I'm like, man, that dude is preaching. Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. So if you heard a story, I came home and I was like, man, when they were at school today, them kids was jumping on the table. Like, it was just a crazy day. I've never seen them do that before, but it was a crazy day. Now, I said that was the only day it happened. She's gonna tell her the story. Man, them kids at Warner was standing on the tables, dancing. It was crazy. She's gonna tell, man, have you heard that Warner, them kids dance on the table? They was up there, they done started to shoot, and it's whatever they wanted. The story evolves. Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. So we said we had to get people in the building to see the work and understand how we're gonna do that work. One of the first things we did was saying we need to engage families, we need to engage the community, and we engaged them through the Warner Exchange.
The Warner Exchange came about through months of listening to families, hearing this connection between students missing school and lacking these basic need necessities. We said, what if it was an exchange, right? You send your child to school every day where they receive a world-class education, and we provide you with these basic needs.
All of our students in our whole school, every day that they come to school, they earn 5 Warner Bucks. And those Warner Bucks get tallied. Families can come, they can shop. So our idea is to say, families, let's support you, but we're gonna support you and not just give you a handout.
The earning part is the most great part, so to be able to give back too. It's like I'm giving something to be able to get something. It was a struggle for me, but I was already changing around to make sure that they got here every day. But this was a great help. This was a great help.
I love that we're recognizing that our families are doing the very best they can. And we're saying we see you, and we want this to be a partnership. We're in this with you, and together, your children can be successful.
I really do appreciate it, and the people, the staff, and just the community itself, even the people that helps make the donations that makes it happen, for it. So, yeah, I really do. It's a great thing. It really is.
We need the community's support to continue to stock our shelves. And this is the way that not only our families, but also our scholars have the ability to understand that there's people that may not come into the school building that are cheering for them. There are people that may not see them every day that are praying for them. They're supporting them. They're sending them love, sending them good energy, because ultimately, this isn't a Warner initiative. This is a community initiative. To push the envelope forward, we said we had this idea of the Warner Exchange because oftentimes in schools, you have schools have a food pantry, they have a clothing closet, or just, families can come up and grab things. But then when it's time to have that S-team meeting, it's time to have that IEP meeting, that parent-teacher conference, it's hard to get in contact with some of those same families. So we said, you know what, how about a partnership where if you send your child to school every day, and that's a very novel concept, isn't it? All you got to do is send your baby to school every day. They earn these Warner bucks, and then you can come and shop. And you saw the store, it's legit. But it's all built around community partnership. We haven't spent one dime of school funds in there because we've gone back to that approach of saying there's people who don't know you that love you. There are people that don't know you, but they're cheering for you because we said we were going to make a promise, and this is how we're going to fulfill that promise. So some of you had an opportunity to hear The Promise Season 2. It was a year-long study of just the transformation work that we're doing at Warner. Shout out to my friend Maribel Knight. She was actually going to come tonight, but then her son had some things that he had to do that she had to roll with him. But Maribel did all the journalism for it. And I will tell you, when we started that work, we didn't think it was going to be as big as it happened to get. We just really wanted to just take the story and see how it goes. And she would go everywhere, and because I just told her, I want you to take the work. Good, bad, or indifferent, I want you to see the work, see what we're doing, because I believe in this work. This work is not easy, but it's life-changing. So we said just chronicle it, and it won the Peabody Award for WPLN, our local public radio station. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it'll definitely be worth your time. But one of the things that when we talk about transforming a school and taking on different approaches, we had to figure out a non-traditional approach to student discipline. Remember, I told you that during that year before I got to Warner, we logged 700 disciplinary referrals for 188 students. Now, I am 6 foot, 240 pounds, bald head, dark skin, loud voice. I could tell you to sit down and you're going to sit down. I could yell right now and some of you will get startled. Y'all not scared of me, but dude crazy up there. You're going to sit down. So there could be that energy. But what I realized is I'm one person, and if students are only complying because they're scared or there's fear, it's not productive. If students are only complying because they're feared that they're going to get harmed, that's not productive. We needed to teach our students how to self-regulate. What we found out, we're losing a generation of people who are making permanent decisions based upon temporary emotions. We hear it all the time about people who go to the prison system. We saw that with the young lady in Nashville about 2 years ago, the nurse. She was riding down the interstate, headed to work. The guys say she cut him off. We don't really know what happened, but let's say that was true. She cut him off in traffic. All of us have had someone cut us off before. We've all said the same thing, jerk, and kept rolling. Because we made a choice. We made a choice to just say that and just keep rolling. In that instance, those two young men that were riding in the car, they made a permanent decision based upon a temporary emotion. They were upset. They rolled up next to her, rolled down the window, shot her, killed her, ended her life, destroyed the lives of all the people that love her, and at the same time, ended both of their lives because now they're both doing life without the possibility, and they've ruined the life of so many people that love them. 3 lives gone because they made a permanent decision based upon a temporary emotion. Let's bring it to education. We're in class, and I decide I just don't want to be in class today. So I decide I'm going to use a curse word. And we know in education, you say that curse word, you're going to go to the principal, you're going to get out of this classroom, you're not going to talk to me that way. And you, principal, suspend me from school. Now, I could have used a $2 word and said the D word. Some colleges, I don't really be cursing, so I'm going to just say the D word here. Or I could have, I could up the ante, give you a good MF, or even throw a B in there, if I want to really push my luck. But, it's kind of just low level. Normally we just throw one out, and then, you're going to get suspended. You're not going to be in my school talking like that. But then we suspend that child because in that moment, we're not liking the word that they said. But then we suspend them and send them back to an environment where they've just gone from taking what we consider beginning cussing 101 to AP cussing, because now you're going to get home and you little bomb, you got kicked out of school, and you're like, whoa, if they're going to go home to that kind of language, what are we doing? Are we really helping transform students' lives? So we started this approach of taking a non-traditional approach to discipline and said, we're going to teach our students how to self-regulate, we're going to teach them the power of the breath, and we're going to help them move forward. And this wasn't just an approach that my teachers had to do. Me as principal, I had to have this paradigm shift as well. It happened with a kid named Brooks. I'm going to just call him Brooks for the sake of the story. Brooks is Ricky in school right now. Brooks is a really smart kid, but Brooks is with whatever you with. If you want to fight, he want to fight. If you want to sit in class and make good grades, he want to sit in class and make good grades. If you want to sit there and play all day, he'll play all day. So we were in the dance studio. Yes, we have a dance studio. We're fancy. So they were in dance, and they were moving around. And just like in education, we always see the second punch. We never see the first punch. Kid was moving around, bumped Brooks. Brooks didn't like it. Brooks pushed him back. Teacher saw it. She got onto him. Brooks, what I told you about putting your hands on people. You're always putting your hands on people. He tried to explain his side of the story. Teacher wasn't having it. He ran out of class. Now, Warner's a 3-level school, so I just want to paint this picture. The dance floor is on the 1st level. Our Be Well class is on the 3rd floor. So we get a call on the radio, Dr. Gibbs, Brooks has eloped. And I remember walking up to my secretary. Now, this is, my first year. We just put all these structures in place. I wasn't part of their original training when they decided to use all these fancy words. So I was like, she just said he eloped. Like, what is, I know what eloped means, but like in the context of a school, like, why did she say he eloped? They was like, when we went to RTIB training, they said if a child runs out of class, they have eloped. So we need our school-wide language. So, yeah, okay. So he's eloped. Secretary said, well, our previous administration told us whenever a child elopes, we always start at the bottom floor as a team. You take one end of the hall, I take one end of the hall. We're going to search the empty classrooms because, again, we only had 180 students. Building is built for over 500. We're going to search the empty classrooms, and then we'll work our way up. Looked at her. I'm not doing that. All right. we've talked about if a child gets upset, they go to the Be Well room. I'm gonna go to the Be Well room because this building is too big and I'm just not doing that. So I walked up to the Be Well room. Brooks is already in there. He has his breathing ball. He's going through his process. And this is when I learned the powerful lesson. I stopped him. I said, Brooks, come here. He looked, he got up, walked over there. He was like, what? Hold on. I ain't let that part faze me. I said, man, tell me why I shouldn't get your mama on the phone right now and send you home for running out of class. He looked at me. Now, he already said what to me, so you see what energy he in. He looked at me. Man, Dr. Gibbs, you told me before I did something silly and got suspended from school, I needed to come to this room and breathe. What you want me to do? Now, Ricky, I had to kind of like, Dr. Gibbs was standing there, but Ricky kind of came out of me. I want to say, if you don't watch your tone talking to me, I'm going to punch you in your face. That's what I'm going to do. But then I remembered I was Dr. Gibbs too, and I looked at him and said, you know what, Brooks? You are absolutely right, sir. You did exactly what I told you to do. Because I told you if you were dysregulated, you needed to come to this space to find yourself calm, breathe, and learn how to regulate.
Be Well in School is a nonprofit based in Nashville. We're a 501c3 organization, and we teach mindfulness and movement as a proactive behavior management system. So our strategies are rooted in breath and movement, and we empower students to have self-regulation skills and strategies that help them to be successful in the classroom and beyond.
Be Well is something that when you get angry or mad or sad or kind of disappointed, it's here for you to take deep breaths and relax.
When I do my Be Well strategies, I start by getting my breathing ball, because if I feel down, she say just breathe with the breathing ball. Sometimes my baby sister is too high, so my mama told her to calm her down. So what I do is I tell her to go up, and then I tell her to breathe, and then go down. And we do that a couple of times.
Be Well is a place where you could go when you're angry or upset. You could go there and calm down, and then when you're ready, you could go back to class. My favorite one in the Be Well room is the warrior sequence. I can stand up for me. I can stand up for others. I can stand up for peace.
My favorite thing in the Be Well room is the rainbow breath.
When I do my poses and breathe, it makes me feel happy.
When I use my breathing strategy, I feel good about myself.
So when we talk about how we can change the narrative, how we can change children's perception when it comes to decisions they're making at school, we said we can do those things by truly pushing the envelope forward and helping our scholars thrive. Because when you teach young people how to self-regulate, you are giving them skills that will last them a lifetime. As adults, we all are giving huge props when we walk away from a situation. I can decide right now, get into it with you, and man, because you got your tattoos, I ain't scared of you. I can take this tie off. But then, I say, you know what? I'm not going to do that with you right now. I'm going to walk away. Folks will be like, oh, man, did you see Dr. Gibbs? He had such restraint. Like he walked away from a situation and didn't escalate it. But when children are escalated, do we have a space for them to go to? Because most of the time, even if a child wants to walk away, what do? You better turn around. You're going to stand right here and talk to me. But if that child is already dysregulated, and now as the adult, you're dysregulated because you're yelling, a dysregulated adult cannot regulate a dysregulated child. Two dysregulated people can't regulate each other. You can create more chaos, absolutely, but you can't regulate each other. So we said we was going to take this approach, and exciting. We went from 700 disciplinary referrals. That first year we dropped it down to 200. We continued on this approach. The next year we dropped it down to 32. This school year, we're only at 21. We still have those same babies coming out of Casey. Same trauma, same anger, same pain, same passion. But now they have strategies to begin working through some of those childhood trauma situations. And now they can focus on being a child. They can focus on enjoying school. They can come and have fun. And because we've done that, we're no longer in the bottom 5% of the state. That's a clap point. So we're no longer in the bottom 5%. I told you we're at 1.6. We're in the 16th percentile now. I tell folks all the time, we're not where we want to be, but coming from 1.6 to 16th% is crazy growth. On average, right now, our scholars are growing at 5.7 years every school year. The goal is to grow 1 year. Our scholars are growing 5.7 years, so much so, Governor Lee, Commissioner Swin, and Speaker Sexton came to visit the school to figure out what they said. We're trying to see what's the secret sauce. I told them it's almost like going to, Louisiana and asking somebody for their recipe for gumbo. Hey, I could tell you, but, I'm going to have to kill you if I give it all to you. Because it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, sprinkle here, sprinkle there. I can't measure it, but, my grandma just told me to take a piece of butter and cut it where I feel right. And we put it together. The student population enrollment is booming. Told you we started with 180 students. Right now, we're projected for next school year, 357. In our building today, we have 307 students. So we've doubled student enrollment in 3 years. Our arts programs are thriving. I told you we got a dance studio. We teach all of our scholars classical ballet. We teach them hip hop. We teach them jazz. Our younger scholars learn tumbling. We have a strings program where all of our scholars learn how to play the violin, the cello. Our fourth graders are learning how to play the bass. We do after-school choir. We have a guitar club. And next year, we're adding drama. So I told them, we're going to definitely do some kind of play, and you're going to have to get me on stage. I don't know what I'm going to do, but, I kind of like to be on the film, too. So I'm going to find a way into the video. The kids laugh about it all the time, because anytime we do a video, I'm always figure out how I can find my way in it, just because I like to have fun. And when we talk about making school fun, this is one of the ways we've made school fun.
Yo, we're about to tell you a little bit about the Warner way. Come on. Cause we them scholars. Finna do that cool cat bounce on you. Come on. Yo. I'm like, this is the Warner way. If you know that you a scholar, let me hear you just holler like, hey, the Warner way. You know we are them cool cats and we do it like that. Now mob with it. Just mob with it. Take it back 3 times, then hop with it. Now do the wop with it. Don't stop, get it. Now slide to the front and stop. Let me see your right foot, right foot, left. Slide to the right, then slide to the left. Now right foot, left. Slide to the right, then slide to the left. If you're feeling real good and you know this your year, say yeah. It's like that. If you feeling real scholar, let me hear you just holler like, hey, the one away. You know we are them cool cats and we do it like that. Yo, do the cool cat bounce, come on. Do the cool cat bounce, take it low. Take it low. Now bring it up, hey, now bring it up, yo. Now we some scholars, and we striving for the best. Yeah, we gotta do it like this, come on. Make it show the smile, yo. Oh, you ain't know? Come on, one more time, we'll be home. Hit the quan one time for me, break it down. Hit the quan one time, let me see you bounce. Hit the quan one time, turn it all around. Yo, we the cool cats, baby. Hey, hey, make the shoulders bounce.
I told you it's almost like, and this I may date myself a little bit, but I'm an 80s baby. And back in the early 90s, that 2000, when Bad Boy Records was everywhere, and Puff would always get in a video, and I'm the Puff of principalship. So I'm gonna jump in the video, and I don't gotta be the star, but man, you know, give me a little role. So what we tell folks with this work, because we're going to fulfill the promise of a world-class education, this work never stops. You've heard me say consistently, this work is not easy, but it's life-changing. I'll challenge you as educators, as supporters of education, that what I started with Angela Davis, saying that I no longer accept the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. I'm going to challenge you to push forward through the status quo because our scholars deserve it. They deserve to understand that they can do anything they want in this world because they have a community of people who genuinely want to see them win. So before I get out of here this evening, because I'm going to save a couple of minutes for questions, I gave you a bunch of overview, a data of where we at, where we've been, where we are, where we're headed. I did neglect to tell you that last year, because of the growth, those 5.7 years, because of removing from being 1.6 to the 16th percentile, we were awarded Blue Ribbon Beacon School across the country, and they flew us out to Orlando, this big celebration. It was amazing. But to say that we've gone from a priority school, bottom 2% of the state, to a Blue Ribbon school, we've gone from level 1 school on TVOS to a level 5 school, which is the highest you can be in the state. We have shown that if you're true about fulfilling the promise of a world-class education, and you're passionate about making school fun for everyone, no matter if their parents have a median household income of $500,000 or if they're of $12,000, if we say a world-class education, we mean it for everyone. This is a day in the life of a scholar at Warner Arts Magnet.
My name is Marcus. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
And we're gonna go around this way.
I
I'll finish with just letting you know I'm just a kid from Liberty City in Miami. My mom never made more than $20,000 in her life. I was raised as a single parent household, dealt with a lot of trauma. My dad beat my mom, all those kind of things. So statistics say I should not be standing in front of you. I definitely shouldn't have a doctorate degree, definitely shouldn't be a principal. But because I had people that looked like you, that educated me, that didn't care where I came from, only thing that mattered to them was that I received a world-class education. So I'll tell you, never feel sorry for where your scholars come from. If you want to help them, ensure that they receive a world-class education, and that's how you break generational curses. That's how you end generational poverty, and that's how you end generational hopelessness. Again, all my contact information up there. I would love to connect with you. Dr. Ricky Gibbs, just a kid from Liberty City, living the dream and fulfilling the promise of a world-class education. Thank you. And I'm going to try to stand right here because they told me when I stand in front of the projectors, the light is shining on my head. So, I'm going to stand right here.
Don't be shy. Who has a question? Not you?
What is your average class size?
So when we started out the work a couple years ago, average class size was about 12 students. Right now, our average class size sits about 19. Is lower in kindergarten just because I believe in putting extra teachers in kindergarten. 25-year-olds is a lot. That's just my core fundamental belief. I try to keep kindergarten at about 16. Now that means fourth grade will have about 23, 24, but I'm okay with that because fourth graders know expectations and you can have more bodies in the classroom. I try to keep the lower ones. I believe if you set a strong foundation, you can build a beautiful home. So we try to keep K1 about 16 to 18, 2 through 4. Next year we're adding fifth grade. Those can get up to anywhere 20 to 24.
Do you know what the transition has looked like from some of your students who are going outside of your school now into a new system where those supports may not be there?
Yep. So we actually have had that conversation with a couple of our feeder middle schools. They've actually adopted some of the processes because they've seen the scholars we sent to them before we did these strategies and the scholars that we're sending to them after, and they see they're coming with just a different level of emotional awareness. So we've had that process happen. Now we have had some scholars go to schools that didn't have those resources and they struggled some simply because they were so accustomed to having a space to get to. But as we've developed the work and done it more, part of the work I tell my team, if we do our work right, even if a child goes to a school that doesn't have the resources we have, if we teach them how to self-regulate, that can translate anywhere. So I'm glad you asked that question. It's been something that we've definitely been tracking because as a scholar leaves us, I keep up with, are they leaving us and now going back to getting disciplinary referrals, or have we genuinely change their trajectory and put them on a better path.
Hi.
Hey.
How was your success received by your colleagues, and do you share your secret sauce with them so they can achieve the same success? That's just part one.
All right.
And and part two, when will you write the book?
Yeah. So the success is twofold. I have genuinely people who cheer for me and, man, Gibbs, go. I want to see you do it. Man, we love the work. And then, you got your quiet haters. They'll, man, he think he all that. I don't think nothing. You think that, but I appreciate that. So you will have that part. But because there's so many people cheering the work, those naysayers aren't willing to say it too loud because there's so many people cheering the work. So I have amazing colleagues. Again, the principal of the year, that's voted on by my colleagues. They recognize the work. So that was something that's really exciting. I'm about 75% done with the book. It's give you the title. Don't steal my title. It's already copywritten. So if you do, I'm gonna put my lawyer on you. But simple title is Black and White: How to Help At-Risk Students Succeed. Because oftentimes when people think about race and diversity, we only think about it as black and white. I challenge your mindset. Diversity is way deeper than that. Diversity is, yes, racially, black, white, Hispanic, socioeconomically, we're segregated by it. Gender, we pay males more than we pay females. How is that even possible? There's some brilliant female minds that'll run circles around men. Why am I getting paid more just because I have more testosterone? That's strange. Do you have people represented that have different religions? Sexual orientation. Is somebody that's representing the LGBTQ community, do you have them at your table? So when we talk about diversity, equity work, it's deeper than just black and white, and we're going to dig into all those topics in the book.
Can you share a little more information about the Be Well room? And is there a designated teacher that stays there or a counselor? Do you have a school counselor and additional personnel that stays in the Be Well room?
Yep.
And just one more question would be, if a child breaks a rule, do they have to stay there, or are there lessons, social skills lessons possibly, that someone teaches there? And if you could share a little more about that, thank you.
Covered. So the Be Well room is staffed by a full-time member of our staff. That's their only job, work self-regulation. So that person is in that room all day. And yes, I do have a school counselor, and my school counselor is not my Be Well teacher. My school counselor is handling S-teams and doing one-on-one therapy with students who are families going through divorce or stuff like that. So she has her own caseload of things to do. My Be Well teacher's in that room, and all his job is to do is work self-regulation. So if a child is dysregulated, he's always in that room to help get that child back calm. He goes through the process of teaching them how to breathe and go through strategies. Work cannot ever go to the Be Well room. So that's one of the biggest differences. So if Ricky is in class and I'm just not doing my work, you can't say, Ricky, get your work and go to the Be Well room. If I can do my work in the Be Well room, I can do my work in that room. What's the difference? Is there a strategy I need to learn so I can get myself calm to do my work? Then if that's the case, I can go to the Be Well room, work on that strategy, and then come back and do my work. So we never let students take work to the Be Well room, because when you go there, it's genuinely because you're going to work on yourself. It's always a choice to go to the Be Well room. So just like Brooks made the choice to run to the Be Well room, our scholars always have that choice. You could choose that you don't want to go to the Be Well room. I can get upset, flip the table right now, and say, I ain't going to the Be Well room, and can't nobody make me. You're going to hear, Dr. Gibbs, you're needed and when I come, I don't have breathing balls in my office. I'm not even the de-escalation person. I'm get your backpack and let's go. So we teach there's always choices, because when our scholars leave our schools, they're going to be faced with a society that will give them choices. They need to learn how to self-regulate to make because that's the right choice to make, not out of fear of the consequence. So we give them choices. Always choose. I tell them, man, going to Be Well is much better than dealing with me. But that's just from things I've experienced, what I tell them.
Hey, I'm your last question.
All
we
right.
have a lot of pre-service teachers in here and teachers in the field, and we want you to, hype us up, encourage us. Do you have a word for people who haven't been in the field yet but are going to be there very soon?
Absolutely. So I'll leave you with this. You are getting ready to partake in what I consider the most impactful profession known to man. Everybody, I don't care what they do in life, will walk through one of your classrooms. You have some folks that be like, well, I make millions of dollars and I never went to college. You went to third grade. So you're gonna impact everybody. Understand that sometimes the work you do gets lonely. Sometimes the work you do, you can feel like you're not appreciated. But you understand that you're doing life-changing work. And whenever you get to that moment, know that there's a crew of educators who were unapologetic disruptors, who were educational leaders, who were cheering for you. I'm cheering for your ultimate success because I know you're going to change lives. There's always going to be a Ricky in your classroom that you may be the only person that sees the good in that child. That may be coming from a family that has its own challenges, but you're that beacon of hope. Every time they come in your classroom and they see your cheetah print glasses, they just say, you are the person that inspires me to do this work, to be my best version of myself. So know that education is full of ebbs and flows. You're going to start off in August. I call it that August energy. Everybody's excited. You're going to pick out your clothes and put your outfit out. If you're like me, I put my whole suit out. I shine my shoes. I be ready for that first day. Then come fall break, I be like, boy, they better get up out this school because I'm over this. But then we rest and we go back up. And that's going to be the work. So know that the work that you do is appreciated, is valued, you're loved, and most importantly, you're seen. We need you. Contrary to popular belief, there's a teacher shortage all across our country. I'm on the recruitment team for Metro Nashville Public Schools, so if you are looking for a job, please make sure you reach out to me. Even if I can't hire you at Warner, we need you in Nashville. I'm going to speak in Murfreesboro City Schools in like 2 weeks, so don't tell them I said just come to Nashville. But we need you. So your work is appreciated. You're a life changer. Don't believe anything else. You are an absolute life changer. There's going to be a child that looks back at you and say, I remember when I was in Miss Smith class and she was the person that believed in me, and that's how I'm able to do what I can do right now. That person for me is Mr. Tony Lassane and Miss Paula Festa. Be that person that when people talk about their life in 20 years, that they say, you were the person that changed it. Again, man, I'm just a kid from Liberty City. I thank you for indulging with me. I thank you for laughing with me, for having those all moments. And if I could ever do anything, all of my contact right there, tag me, DM me, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I'd love to connect. Thank you. I appreciate it.